25 during the July movement. A video showing the scene of Abu Said, a coordinator of July movement 24, being shot multiple times by police at a close range with lethal weapon. A video showing the scene of a dead body of protester Asabul Yamin being thrown from APC armed personnel carrier by police. A video which showing the accused Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal defending the use of lethal weapon by police. Extent of cruelty. It transpires from the evidences that cruelty of the extreme level was administered upon the dead and injured protesters. Police and activists of Awami League, Chhatra League and Jubo League blocked the entrance and exit of ambulances carrying the injuring protesters. Hospitals were asked not to give admission to the injured protesters. It appears from the testimony of PW2 that in some cases, patients were searched by police and ruling party activists. Doctors were intimidated and some of the doctors were transferred due to giving treatment to the protesting injured persons. PW3 Parveen deposed that she found an injured young man shouting, save me, under Jatrabari flyover. Blood was coming out from both of his eyes. Parveen pulled him up and put him on her shoulder and looking for a rickshaw. And then 14 to 15 armed police shot them. The injured man, being hit by bullets, fell down from her shoulder. They also shot PW Parveen at her left eye, lower abdomen and other parts of the body. Blood was gushing out of her body and thus she fell down. Coordinator of the movement, Abu Said of Begum Ruqayya University, Rangpur, was shot at a close range. Doctors were forced to change his post-mortem report 5 times. PW8 Naim Chikdar was shot at a close distance of 5 meters. He was hit by 500 bullets and 3 hospitals refused to admit him, apprising that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina instructed to refuse admission to the protesting patients. PW8 also said that Chhatra League activists were searching him and as such he was hidden in separate room by the doctors. It is revealed from the evidence of PW9 Shahina Begum that police burned the dead body of her son along with some other dead bodies in Ashulia of Dhaka. PW10 MD Enab Nazez Zaki also stated that his son was killed and then the dead body was burnt by police in Ashulia. We find from the testimony of PW10 Asabur was shot dead and set ablaze. It appears from the testimony of PW13 Dr. Muhammad Mahfuzur Rahman that most patients admitted to the hospital had no skull. The detective branch members had forbidden the doctors not to be serious in the treatment of the protesting patients and also that they had been instructed from the higher authorities not to release the protester patients admitted there. The patients were mostly aged 13 to 30 years. The DB also asked the doctors not to admit any more patients injured in the movement. This witness also said that in order to hide the injured patients from the sight of DB personnel, the doctors adopted some tactic like changing the names of the patients and the type of injury in the admission register and recording road accident or other reasons instead of bullet wounds. It appears from the evidence of PW15 Dr. Hassanul Banna that police and Awami League activists prevented treatment of the protester patients, prohibited new admission of such patients, checked admission register, took away list of patients, set down entrance of the hospital and prevented entrance and exit of the ambulances and patients. This witness also said that one patient named Mustaqim Billah was admitted through an alternative entrance. To save the protester patients, the doctors had to change the name of the patients and particular of their problems, remove them from the general ward to the post-operative ward, ICU special cabin. He added that treatment was given to such patients at risk of life of the doctors. We find from the deposition of PW18, Dr. Razibul Islam, that he was forced to change the post-mortem report of Abu Said 4 to 5 times. He was threatened with the saying that if he does not change the cause of death of Abu Said, he would be prosecuted. He was further told that there was an intelligence report against him. PW19 Shariful Islam was injured in the bombardment in Kustia. 62 pellets were removed from his body and 500 more still in his body. It is revealed from the evidence of PW21 Dr. Zakia Sultana that on 18 July 2024 they received 200 patients aged about 14 to 25 years with bullet injuries. On 19 July 2024, also similar number of patients with bullet injuries were admitted in the hospital. Numerous patients with bullet injuries were admitted on 4th, 5th, 6th August 2024. It further appears from the evidence of this witness that out of apposite patients, 493 lost one eye forever, 11 lost both eyes forever, 28 lost vision of both eyes, and 47 lost vision of one eye. It appears from the evidence of PW22, Mr. Idris, that while his son...
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus. And this is your brain when you're in the zone. But getting in the zone and staying there, that feels more like luck than something you can control. So that's why we made Brain FM. It's like a do not disturb setting for your mind. And it gets you focused in just 5 minutes using science and sound. Brain FM.
Minister Asadzaman Kamal and IGP Chaudhry Abdullah Mamun were passing across Jatrabari. One police officer was showing them a video of their attacks on protesters and said, "Guli kori ekta, more ekta, ahuto hoy ekta, ektai jay, bakita jay na." It transpires from the testimony of PW27, Dr. Mashuk Ahmed, that Chhatralik activists stopped ambulance carrying protesting wounded near Shahidullah Hall of Dhaka University. They also checked the patient identity, asked the doctors not to treat the wounded protesters and also not to be so serious in their treatment. He further said 5 doctors were transferred elsewhere due to rendering treatment to protesters with bullet injuries. This witness also stated that the direction of the gunshot wounds of the patients treated on 19, 20, 21 July and 4-5 August in Dhaka Medical College Hospital was from the top to the bottom. He meant that the gunshot was done from above, which obviously implies helicopter. It appears from the evidence of PW47 Nahid Islam deposed that bullets were fired from helicopter and that many false cases were filed against the protesters, and also that the activists of Awami League, Jubu League and Chhatra League prevented the treatment and burial of protesters. Furthermore, some of the protesters were forcibly disappeared and many dead bodies of the protesters were concealed. He himself and some other student leaders were abducted. PW 48 Ali Ahsan Junaid stated that on 15 July 2024, Chhatra League activists brutally attacked and injured the Dhaka University students, hindered going to the hospital and tortured them in the hospital. He further said that the protesters were fired from the helicopter. We find from the evidence of PW 54, Mr. MD Alamgir, investigating officer, that the protester named as Ashabul Yamin was thrown down from the APC by the police. Summing up by the learned Chief Prosecutor. The learned Chief Prosecutor advanced argument on conclusion of the testimonies of the prosecution witnesses. He submitted that the instant case is an unprecedented and unexceptional one in the history of this subcontinent. After achieving independence in 1971, the people of the country had a great expectation and belief that all sorts of sufferings, poverty, tyranny and high-handedness of the government and the mighty quarters would come to an end and people would enjoy liberty, happiness and all fundamental rights, but all these have been doomed to ashes. The learned prosecutor dubbed the ruling party Awami League as fascist ab initio. From the very inception of independent Bangladesh, the Awami League government concentrated to perpetuate its power by way of exploitation, torture, killing, abduction, denial of democracy and fundamental rights of the people, freedom of press and speech, as well as social justice, and thereupon established dictatorship by forming Bhakshal. The then Awami League government, led by Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, planned in connivance with a neighboring country to weaken and abolish our glorious army and thus formed Rakhi Bahini, an armed organized parallel to the army. In the like way, after coming to the power in 2008, accused Sheikh Hasina's government committed the same acts like torture, abduction, killing, false prosecution, imprisoning, confinement, enforced the appearances, so dominated judiciary, restricted the freedom of press and freedom of speech. Sheikh Hasina oppressed the critics, writers, journalists, members of civil societies, lawyers and judges, and ousted many of them from the country. The then Chief Justice Sheikh S.K. Sinha, eminent writer and journalist, as well as historian Mahmudur Rahman, politician and journalist Pinaki Bhattacharya, Shafiq Rahman, Ilyas Hussain, Kanak Sarwar, Mushfiqul Fazl Ansari, Oliullah Numan, Shahid Alam, Jawad Nirjor, Tasneem Khalil, Julkarnain Shaher, Barrister Abdul Razzaq were driven out of the country for speaking the truth and criticizing the government's misrule, oppression and loopholes. In 2008, with Sheikh Hasina's conspiracy as that of her father, 57 senior army officers, while an deputation in Bangladesh Border Guard, that is BGB, were killed in an official congregation of Pilkhana BGB headquarters by the Awami League leaders and loyal army officers. Thereafter no action was taken against those killers. In 2013, the law enforcers and the ruling party activists killed hundreds of innocent young and underage madrasa students in a congregation arranged by Islamic organization Hefazat-e-Islam at Shapla Chattor, Dhaka, without any cogent reasons, and thereafter no action was taken against the killers. For perpetuating her power, accused Sheikh Hasina politicized judiciary, army, law enforcing agencies, bureaucracies, and all other departments and made them subservient of herself and her government. With the ulterior motive of remaining in power for long, Sheikh Hasina obtaining a verdict from the court given by her loyal judges headed by Chief Justice A.B.M. Khairul Haq, now in jail, abolished the most popular and well-settled electoral system under caretaker government, held an expert election in 2014, ignoring the participation and demands of the opposition parties, and in that election 153 candidates of the ruling party Awam League were elected without any vote. Again, a farcical election was held in 2018, in which ballot boxes were filled up in the night preceding the day of election, without carrying the demands of the opposition parties for holding election by a caretaker government for the sake of security, fairness, and transparency. Accused Sheikh Hasina held another farcical ex-party election known as dummy election in January 2024 without allowing the political parties to participate. In 2024, the students launched a movement claiming reformation in the quota system in government jobs.
I'm here to make your life as a publisher better. Imagine your website's monetization reaches new heights every day.
56%. Instead of fulfilling the demand of the students or speaking with them on the issue, Sheikh Hasina, in a press conference on 14 July 2024, made a derogatory comment pointing towards the students of Kota movement, saying, "Mukti Juddhar Nati Putira Chakri Pabe na to ki Rajakarer Nati Putira Chakri Pabe." Whereupon the student of Dhaka University got extremely agitated and assembled at Raju Bhaskarja in front of TSC of Dhaka University, where they protested against Sheikh Hasina's humiliating comment and demanded her apology. Meanwhile, Awami League Secretary and Cabinet Minister Obaidul Qadir and Chhatra League Yuva League leaders stated in their party meeting that Chhatra League was enough to control the protesting students, and thus the agitation spread out in all other educational institutes throughout the country. The armed activists of Chhatra League and Yuva League attacked all on a sudden upon the protesting students with deadly weapons at the midnight, causing 297 of them injured and hospitalized. Moreover, the said terrorists hindered the injured students from going to the hospital, and furthermore, they also attacked the injured students in the hospital. From 16 July 2024, the Chhatra League and Yuva League terrorists, along with the law enforcers, killed and injured many students at various parts of the country. On 16 July 2024, as part of the widespread and systematic attack, student Abu Said of Rangpur Begum Ruqayya University was repeatedly shot at a close range by police, causing his death and also injured many protesting students. Accused Sheikh Hasina ordered the law enforcers and the activists of Awami League, Chhatra League and Yuva League to use drone, helicopter, lethal weapons to kill the protesters, and accordingly, from 18 July to 1st August 2024, they killed hundreds of protesters and injured thousands throughout the country by using drone, helicopter, and various types of lethal weapons. As part of the widespread and systematic attack in pursuance of the incitement and order of accused Sheikh Hasina and direct participation, abatement order and supervision of accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, 6 protesters were brutally killed and many were seriously injured with lethal weapon by police at Sankarpur on 5th August 2024. Similarly, the law enforcers and activists of Awami League, Chhatra League and Jubo League killed 6 persons at Ashulia with lethal weapons on 5th August 2024. One of the 6 was unidentified. After being shot dead, police inhumanly burned the dead bodies. Before being burned, the dead body unidentified protesters was alive. The learned chief prosecutor submitted that the family members of the martyrs, the injured victims, and other witnesses proved the aforesaid occurrences. The said occurrences were also recorded in videos and audios which have been played in the tribunal. The conversations recorded in DVD, CD, and the videos of the occurrences have been examined by the CID experts who found that the said conversations and videos are not generated by artificial intelligence. In addition to the incitement, order, participation of the accused in the alleged atrocities, the accused are liable for their abstention from taking measures for the prevention of the same or taking any punitive measures against the doers thereof. Being the Prime Minister, accused Sheikh Hasina was the Supreme Commander of the law enforcing agencies, inclusive of the Home Minister and the Inspector General of Police, and as such, the crimes against humanity in question could not take place without the involvement, express or tacit of them. The learned chief prosecutor added that the movement of the students continued for 36 days, during which, as stated herein before, hundreds of protesting students and common people were killed and thousands were seriously injured, most of whom became permanently handicapped and blind. But accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and the other accused and none of the government authorities or the leaders of the ruling party Awami League expressed concern or remorse for such atrocities so far. Accused Sheikh Hasina, instead of expressing remorse or seeking apology for the said crime,
Here's how developers at Perplexity and NVIDIA are prompting AI 10 times faster. You're prompting Cursor over
the International Crimes Tribunal personnel and the prosecutors and also the political party leaders in her hate speeches in audio conversations from time to time. This tribunal, by an order on the application of the prosecution, prohibited Sheikh Hasina to be restrained from making hate speeches anymore, but she continued to do so. Sheikh Hasina committed contempt of this tribunal by threatening the concerned officials of the government as well as the tribunal personnel, inclusive of the prosecutors, to kill 226 persons and burn the houses of the rival party leaders and activists in an audio conversation with one of her party activists, for which the tribunal drew a contempt proceeding against her. In the said proceeding, the tribunal convicted Sheikh Hasina and sentenced her with 6 months imprisonment. The accused committed crimes against humanity jointly by their incitement, order, abatement, participation and inaction, which come within the purview of joint criminal enterprise and superior command responsibility. The authorities in question were widespread and systematic and were atrocities. The atrocities in question were widespread and systematic, and it was directed against the civilian population. The learned chief prosecutor concluded his submission with the saying that in the circumstances it has been proved and established beyond reasonable doubt that the accused committed the crimes against humanity by their incitement, order, participation, abatement, and also inaction, whereupon they deserve the maximum punishment as prescribed by Section 3, subsection 2, A, G, H, and Section 4, subsection 1, subsection 2A, 4.2b, 4.2c, and 4.3 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973. He added that the evidences against the accused are so strong and adequate that if they are tried in any other court or tribunal in the world, they would be awarded the maximum punishment. It may be noted here that the learned prosecutor, Mr. Sheikh Mahdi, assisted the chief prosecutor by referring a number of decisions of different international tribunals. In the summing up session, the learned Attorney General of Bangladesh appeared and shared the concluding submission. In his submission, the learned Attorney General referred to the conviction and sentence of many of the heads of government and states in the world for their commission of crimes against humanity, and thereupon he asked for awarding maximum punishment to the accused of the instant case so that no other Prime Minister or the head of state recur such atrocities in the days to come. Summing up by the learned State Defense, Mr. Amir Hussain, the learned State Defense Counsel, argued that accused Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzaman Kamal are quite innocent. The accused did not incite or order or participate or abet the commission of the crimes against humanity in question. The trial itself against the accused under the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973 is unlawful since the act was passed for the purpose of trial of the persons who
টেস্টিং সল্ট মুক্ত চপস্টিক ইনস্ট্যান্ট নুডলসে পাচ্ছেন 10 থেকে 25 টাকা পর্যন্ত ছাড়।
Meet Cantabro. He doesn't understand our customers yet, but he heard you guys like
atrocities took place. The learned Defense Counsel submitted that no helicopter was used to kill the protesting students and public in the July-August movement 2024. The audio conversations in question have not been duly examined by the experts. Although the audios have been examined by CID, the same should have been examined by some more experts. He questioned the prosecution's claim as to the number of the deaths and injured. He stated that although the prosecution claimed that 1,500 protesters died and 25,000 injured, but the Gazette notifications of the government shows the number of dead protesters as about 800. He emphatically asserted that accused Sheikh Hasina did neither incite nor order nor take part in the alleged atrocities or crimes against humanity. Mr. Amir Hussain vehemently opposed the words of the learned chief prosecutor terming Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzaman Kamal as fascist. He also opposed the assertion of the learned chief prosecutor that Sheikh Hasina fled to Delhi due to the commission of the crimes against humanity by the wave of the mass movement. Rather, she was compelled to depart the country against her will. The learned State Defense Counsel argued that the attack in question was neither widespread nor systematic nor directed against the civilian population. The learned State Defense Counsel further submitted that the accused Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal cannot be held liable for joint criminal enterprise or superior command responsibility. He finally submitted that accused Sheikh Hasina